Hello folks, my name is Greg Suarez and I'm going to talk to you today about Corporal James C. Ricks from Alamo, Georgia. The significance of this event was that he was a soldier that was killed in action on the 30th of November of 1950, and his remains were never identified. So he was listed as an unknown until the 8th of February this year, 2019, when they are able to identify him. And when I say they, I'm talking about the Defense POW-MIA Accounting Agency. They're the ones that collect all of our remains and they get them identified and returned home to their families. On September of 1949, at the time he was just James Ricks, he enlisted in the United States Army at the age of 17. Okay, so his mom had to sign for him in order for him to go. So he joined the Army and he went to the Korean, they called it the Korean conflict then. But on the 30th of November 1950 is when his unit, Echo Company, 7th Cavalry Regiment of the 1st Cavalry Division, were engaged in heavy fighting in North Korea with the Chinese People's Volunteer Forces, and he was killed during that time frame. So what happened was, with all the remains of the soldiers, they were collected up by the North Koreans, and they put them in a United Nations cemetery that was there. So in 1954, there was this operation called Operation Glory, where it was an agreement between the UN and the North Korean government and the Chinese government to agree to release all the remains of our soldiers that fought and died during those battles. Out of the 4,200 remains that came back to us out of that operation, 400 of them were from the area where Corporal Ricks was fighting at, okay? But Corporal Ricks was the only set of remains out of those 400 that could not be identified. All right, so that's where we're at today. The fact he was listed as killed in action for 69 years. Okay, and then on February of this year, they finally identified him and informed the family. At that time, he was buried in Honolulu, Hawaii, at one of our veteran cemeteries there, and he was just an unknown. 69 years later, today, we actually brought him home. He flew into Savannah International Airport, where we met with the Patriot Guard of Savannah. Townsend's funeral home was there to receive him, and that's the ceremony that you're going to see today. Was, you know, the military, they gave him full honors, they received him, they brought him to the hearse, and then the Patriot Guard and a whole lot of law enforcement agencies helped escort Corporal James Ricks back here to Dublin to the Townsend's funeral home, where he will finally be laid to rest. And an interesting thing about it, you know, his mom never gave up. She passed in 1984, but before she passed, she purchased a plot next to her so that when his remains finally return home, they'd be joined again, you know, and he'll finally be laid to rest together with his mom after 69 years. Hello, folks. I'm Greg Swartz. I'm here with a legend in Lawrence County, Mr. Buddy Adams. He is a former everything for Lawrence County, but his last position was the Lawrence County Commissioner. So, Mr. Buddy, what does this mean for Lawrence County?
Well, it shows that we are passionate about our veterans.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm probably one of the oldest volunteers at the VA hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And when we find somebody like this, we should honor them because they fought for us and helped us keep our freedom and everything. So anytime that anything comes up with our veterans, you can count that Greg's going to be there, and 99% of the time I'm going to be there.
That's right. That's right.
So, but this is a great day that we got his remains back, and
69 years.
69 years.
69
right?
years.
And so we need to honor him and everyone that served in Vietnam. I was the co-chairman when we brought the Vietnam Wall back here.
Mm-hmm.
We raised a lot of money, and I always said I was on the first state championship football team that Dublin ever had.
All
And I
right.
thought that was great.
Yeah.
But the wall could not touch that.
Right.
The way we honored those folks there.
Yeah.
But it was a great day for Dublin, Lawrence County.
Yeah. Just like today.
Yeah.
Corporal James Ricks finally returning home after 69 years after being killed in the Korean War on the 30th of November in 1950. So we did a big hoodoo for him, and it's going to be a big send-off for him on Saturday at the ceremony. So it's going to be beautiful.
Yeah.
It's going to be at Union Springs Baptist Church at 2 p.m. All right. But Mr. Buddy, thank you for coming.
Oh, yes.
And thank you for what you do for us.
Well,
First of all, we really appreciate everything that you've done for our veterans here in the past.
Well, anything I can do. I'm still not full of blast, but I'm getting around and everything. And
Yes, sir.
that was one of my passions was our veterans.
That's right. We appreciate you.
Because I remember that I was at Georgia going to school and everything, and I got my notice for Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to come out here and catch the bus to go to Augusta and go through the physical and everything. Walter McCall, that worked at the post office, he was on that same bus that we left here in Dublin and went over there.
Yeah.
And we went through the line. They turned me down because of physical health that I had. I had some head injuries playing football. And Walter, they brought him and put him on the bus and went straight Fort Jackson. Every time I'd see him, he'd say, "Buddy, you're the luckiest person I ever known."
Wow.
Said that was probably the hottest place I had ever been in, over that Fort Jackson.
Wow.
But he was a great guy.
That's good.
So, but thank y'all for what y'all do for our veterans.
Not a problem.
VA.
We appreciate everything that you do for us. Hello, folks. Welcome back. I'm Greg Swartz. I got with me today Mr. Greg Ernst from the Patriot Guard out of Savannah. Nickname is LT.
Yeah, my road name, yes, sir.
That's right. Thank you for coming.
No, thank you for having us, sir.
This is a kind of a historic event for us.
Yes,
This is
sir.
a great event. So how did you guys get involved with it?
When the word came out that they were bringing this soldier home, somebody from the family reached out to the Patriot Guard and said that they would like an escort.
Okay.
The family wanted the corporal to fly into Savannah.
Okay.
So when that happened, I was contacted and asked to organize the escort from Savannah here.
Right.
And that was about 2 weeks ago, and that's how it got started, sir.
Okay, great. So is this like the first time you've done an escort for a missing in action veteran that's been brought home?
For one of this length, yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Okay.
The majority of the escorts we do are for, as far as killed in action, or they've just happened.
Right,
So it's been a week, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks, a month ago. And this one's sort of unique because the family's already grieved.
Right.
They've grieved 78 years ago.
Yeah.
So even though this opens up old wounds, this is more of a homecoming. Just
is.
finally bringing
Absolutely.
their family home.
Be able to finally rest in peace.
Yes,
and
sir.
stuff. So yeah. So how does it make you feel as a
Oh,
Patriot Guard rider? do
Just
something?
honored to do so. I
Yeah.
mean, we're thankful that the family asked us to do it. We're honored to have this opportunity. And it's also a reminder to the family that they don't grieve alone, and we share in their homecoming.
right.
So it's a very humbling experience, sir.
That's right. Okay. Well, LT, we appreciate you coming out. We
Thank you, sir.
appreciate what you guys did
No,
for
thank
this,
you for having
this
us.
gentleman. Yeah, folks, welcome back. We got with me right here Mr. Scott White. He is the president of the Sons of the American Legions chapter here in Dublin.
Commander of the Sons of America.
Commander. That's
Yeah.
right. Commander, not president. Commander. So anyway, so you had a heavy hand in this event. You know, why don't you tell folks how you kind of got started in this?
Well, when I first heard about it, my mother-in-law, she's first cousin, and so when I first heard about it, I contacted Keith Smith with the American Legion, and
Yeah.
he more or less got everything going. And I've been keeping up with him. He and I have been in contact and so forth, and back and forth, and just I'm trying, keeping him up to date, and he's keeping me up to date at the same time as far as what's going on.
Okay, good. So how significant is this for the family? Finally?
This is great. This is great. I mean, this is the first time I've been through something like this. And I was telling somebody at work the other day, I said, it's almost hard for me to grasp
Right.
because I've seen it on TV, but I've never actually been through it.
Right. Right.
And it's just, I mean, I love the military. I support them highly. I love my veterans. You know, I'll do anything in the world I can for them.
I know that's right.
And I mean, I have family that's been in the military. I had a granddad who was in the Army in World War II. So I mean, I'm just all for it, and it's just a great thing that's going on here.
Yeah.
Great
Finally, the family gets closure. Finally,
Yeah.
after the ceremony on Saturday, but after 69 years, he'll finally be
Exactly.
laid to rest.
Exactly.
And from what I understand, his mother had already purchased his plot.
Yeah,
you know,
she died in '84.
in '84, right?
Then I heard what story I heard was before she died, she was determined to get him back home. So she wanted him buried next to her.
Okay.
So she went ahead and purchased his plot
Right.
and everything at the Union Springs Baptist Church in Alamo, where he's from.
Yeah.
And he's going to be laid to rest right there next to her.
So they'll finally be united,
Yeah.
reunited.
So
after
you know she's
69
looking
years.
down now, smiling on
Yeah,
all this.
absolutely.
She's happy.
It's a great story.
Oh, yeah.
It's a great event.
Yeah.
All right, Scott. Well, we appreciate you.
All right. Yes,
and,
sir.
Everything that you've done to help, and it's just.
It's
I'm
amazing.
getting emotional.
I know,
now just
me
thinking
too.
about it. 'Cause
I know
it's
people.
awesome.
People I talk to about it. I could tell they get emotional.
Yeah.
They start
Yeah.
tearing up. I
Yeah.
mean, I was talking about it at work yesterday, and one of my servers said, "Man, he's excited about this." I said, "You darn right I am."
Absolutely.